Good morning. Blessed to see another day. Mr. Carter, little senior, the punching preacher. I'm gonna try to make this quick. I know a lot of times I go down this this path of talking for an extended period, but I'm passionate about this stuff, with this life of serving the Lord. I want to share some with you with me what I personally have adopted, or the mindset, the lifestyle I've adopted with friendships. Being a steward of where I lay my friendship. Stewarding is taking care of or managing. And a lot of different things have stood out to me in the Bible, specifically where Jesus said, do not give your pearls to the swine. I like to think of myself, my the acts of kindness, my heart, me caring for others. I am a pearl, and I have given myself as a pearl to swine, to things that people that have been unappreciative. This may help some of you as well. I just feel like I've been a bad steward of my friendship. So for me, what has started to work, let me give you an example. If you're going to a fight, right, and the choice of weapon is swords, would you take someone who was good with their hands and not good with swords, or would you take someone who was a master sword? This goes to being with people who are equally yoked, right? I'm going to take somebody who is a swordsman, right? For me, what that means is speaking with me personally, my life and my journey. I need someone that can yield a sword. Well, what is the sword? The word of God is the sword, right? Because like a sword, it is the sword. I have to start being intentional with who I give my friendships to, so that I'm with equally yoked people who are master swordsmen, who go to the word of God as their choice of weapon in a time of turmoil, when they face perils, during trials and tribulations, instead of the doctrine and theology of the world. They go to that sword, the word of God. And it brought me to, every time I read the word of God, I get a new, not revelation, but a new way of making it applicable for reading the same thing. And, I was studying Exodus and looking at, in Exodus 17, I believe, verses 8 through 12, where Joshua at this time had taken over with the army, and they were facing the Amalekites. And Moses was standing at the top of the hill, top of the mountain, with the staff in his hand, the rod in his hand. And as long as he had that thing held up high, Joshua prevailed, right? The Amalekites were being defeated. Here's the thing. Here's how I think this applies to a lot of us. We get weary. We get tired. And that's with our faith, with things that we're waiting on with God. We get weary, right? And sometimes delay feels like denial, and the devil will use that to his advantage to make us think it's not going to happen because it's taking too long. You know, we don't want to wait the 40 years like Caleb did to get his promise. We don't want to go through the desert for 40 years, but we're on God's timing. And so we get weary. And here's the thing: I need friends that are aligned with the Word of God, that use the Word of God as a sword. That is the thing that they stand on. That's the foundation, right? Because you have friends that will appease you in your weariness and say, "Well, just quit. It's too hard. You're losing this battle. Your marriage is over. Just leave. The job isn't going to pay you what you're worth. Just leave. This here isn't going the way you wanted to. Just quit." We have those type of friends who will appease to us and cause us to miss out on the promises of God, the blessings of God, right? So my friends now have to be like Aaron and her. And and what I mean is, in the sense of, they literally were able to pick up the slack for Moses. When Moses was tired and his hand was going down and the Amalekites were starting to win, he sat down. They gave him a rock. Listen, they gave him ease. They gave him relief. They gave him a rock to sit down, Moses. They got on one side of him, each one took his arms and raised them up for him, so that the rod was always up, and Joshua and the army prevailed against the Amalekites and they defeated them. I have to have those type of friends. For me, that is why it's important now that I'm equally yoked with people who run to the sword. When they go to their tool of choice to do battle, they're swordsmen, master swordsmen. Like, that is where they go whenever anything in life is in front of them that is a problem, that is a challenge. They don't run to the world for counsel, for advice. They go to the word of God, and they can advise you and counsel you with the word of God. They can pray for you. I need friends that pray for me. I no longer look at aesthetics. I don't care if you make this much, you drive this car, if you do this, if you do that, and we have that in common. I need to know that when trials and tribulations come, you're going to run and get your sword, which is the word of God, and you're going to do battle with me in a way that it honors God and it pleases the Lord, right? And that often means we're doing things that the world says is foolish. The world says it's foolish to wait for God to step in and change a man or woman's heart in a marriage that's failing. They say it's foolish to pray that God will heal someone when the doctors gave a person 2 weeks to live. See, that's worldly counsel. But we know God is a God who never fails. He's never early. He's never late, right? Everything is in his timing. And we lose battles because we get weak and weary, right? As Moses literally was getting weak in that battle, holding the rod, I need to have friends that will come and give me relief, put a stone under me, and then lift my arms up for me and help me in those times of need when I need it. Those are the type of friends that's a friend for me. It's somebody I would do the same thing for, right? So I no longer go off aesthetics, status. I need to know spiritually, how are you in your lifestyle, in your journey with God? Do you run to him when problems arise? Or do you run to the world and do things that are contrary to God, right? That is how I pick friends now. That is why I can no longer be in unequally yoked friendships, right? Because if I'm in unequally yoked friendships and I have problems that arise, you may cause me to stumble. You will be a stumbling block to me and make me do something that is not what God would want me to do. Because you can't even give me the counsel of God because you're not in the word of God. You're not serving God. You don't even know the word of God to even give me counsel. You don't even know how to pray to intercede for me. You don't understand what fasting does and the power in fasting, right? So for me, again, I no longer choose aesthetics, status for the people who I call the friends, the true friends. We use that word lightly. My friends are master swordsmen. My friends run to God and not the world. And iron, that's how iron sharpens iron, okay? So you can't get sharpened with a butter knife, and the world is a butter knife. Then I run into the word of God. Worldly counsel, worldly wisdom is a butter knife. I need a blade, and that is what the word of God is. So again, we have to be better stewards of who we give our pearls to, who I give my friendship to. I can't give it to a worldly person and expect them to sharpen me. I'm going to be dull. Enough times where I'm dull, they can't sharpen me, right? I need someone that's going to say, hey, we losing, but we ain't finna go like this. Here, sit down, take this, sit on this stone. We gonna help you. We gonna lift you up. We gonna get through this together. I don't need the friend that's gonna say, hey, Moses, they kicking our butt, man. You already tired. Let's just go ahead and fold. Let's just give in. I don't need those type of friends. I need a Aaron and a Hur as my friends. They're gonna be there for me, and you better believe it. I'm gonna be there for them the same way because iron sharpens iron. It's reciprocal. It's mutually beneficial. Those are the ones that I call friends, I call brothers, I call sisters, and I have those in my nucleus now of my circle on this walk. And I hope that some of you may have got something from that. Just to the importance of being a steward of where you let your friendship befall, where you let your friendship, rest. We can't give it to everybody. I'm sorry, it's not for everybody. Everybody doesn't deserve your pearls. Some people are people that are going to use you. Some people are people that aren't even on the same path you're on. So I think we need to get to being more aligned with what a friend is in accordance to being equally yoked and on a spiritual level, if nothing else. I don't care about the outward appearance of being the same. I need to know that internally you are operating with the Spirit of God. I love y'all.